following is a Shaw TV special presentation.
All right, you're looking at a live shot of the corner of Pender and Carroll Streets in historic Chinatown, Vancouver. We'd like to welcome you to the 43rd Annual Chinatown Spring Festival Parade. I'm Tim Chung, wishing you a very happy Chinese New Year, Gong Hei Fa Choi, and happy Valentine's Day. As always, I'm joined by Frank Chi from Global National Mandarin. Frank, it's always great to have you here.
Of course, it's an honor to be here again, and 欢迎大家来到第43届温哥华华埠新春大游行的现场直播。那我是 Global National 国语新闻的记者和主持人，我叫戚文峰。这是第5年我和大家一起在这次直播当中见面了，给大家拜一个晚年，也祝大家今天情人节快乐。
That's right. As you can see behind us, you know, a lot of performers, drummers, dancers, they're all setting up back there. It is raining, and it's probably one of the rainiest Chinese New Year parades we've seen in recent years, right?
Of course. Last year, we are lucky to have sunny weather, although it's kind of chilly, but today we feel warm because the atmosphere is so warm. And 大家可以听到呢，在我们身后已经是锣鼓喧天了。但是在游行开始之前呢，我们还是有一些小小的有关华人过新年的传统的节目奉献给大家。
Of course, we're ringing in the Year of the Monkey today with live coverage of this historic parade, and it all kicks off live right here at 11 a.m. But over the next 30 minutes, we'll feature Lunar New Year stories from across the Lower Mainland. We'll also sample some delicious New Year's treats with local food blogger Stephanie Ewan. But first, let's head over to our roving reporter, Bianca Solterbeck. Bianca, how's it looking over there?
Thanks so much, Frank and Tim. It's looking pretty great over here. I'm super excited to be street level where all the excitement is at this year's 43rd Annual Chinese New Year Parade. I'll have lots of interviews coming up. In the next half hour, I'll be talking to the parade organizer as well as a team of teenage lion dancers. We've got a great segment, though, coming up for you now. It's about a local Chinese musical prodigy. He's amazing on violin and piano, and he happens to be born the year of the monkey.
This is an original composition of 11-year-old Spencer Tsai. And it's only one of over 170 musical pieces created by this talented young composer.
I hope to become a great composer like Beethoven.
Big dreams coming from this very young music prodigy, but not far-fetched at all, since he's already performed with some of the best in BC.
I've performed in many places. I've even performed with orchestras like Vancouver Metropolitan Orchestra, Delta Youth Symphony, Richmond Orchestra, and a few others.
The Richmond native started learning violin at 5.5 years of age, and piano when he was only 7. And it took him only 3 years to complete his musical education and receive an ARCT diploma in both instruments.
An ARCT diploma is the culmination of 11 levels. Most people on average would take 1 year per level. Maybe at the earlier grades they could do it a little bit faster than that, but at the senior grades sometimes a little bit slower than that. So he's compressed over 11 years of study into 3.
I really wanted to compose, so I really had to learn these instruments. So I decided to go with them so I could play my own pieces and enjoy them. And I decided to go for the ARCT. It wasn't very hard because I'm a really fast learner.
He is natural to do that, and he would like to be a great composer. He would like to have more time to compose, focus on composing. So he would like to finish all the exam as soon as possible and have a lot of time to develop his creativity fully.
But composing is what he loves doing most, and he gets inspired every day and everywhere.
The fact that he's creative and he feels comfortable in that space is unreal. Some people never experience this.
A very beautiful melody just pops in my head, maybe when I'm on the car, maybe when I'm at Disneyland, maybe when I'm sleeping, or just stuff, really strange appearances, but the melodies are very beautiful as if it was a gift from God.
A gift that helps him create for a variety of instruments and musical styles.
How I learn the instruments is I really like to listen to them. So, for example, flute, I would go on the internet, listen to maybe a flute concerto, and I would get like the idea of what it sounds like, and I could try writing it on my own.
But Spencer's dream extends beyond just making music.
I want to create a place like Disneyland called Musicland, and it would be really cool where you would have rides that really include music into it.
And given his determined and ambitious nature, it's not a matter of if he'll do this, but when. In Richmond, I'm Nina Tosi for Shaw TV.
You're looking at a shot of the historic Chinatown Gate in Vancouver's Chinatown on this rainy Sunday morning. That was a fantastic story. Frank, did you play any instruments growing up?
Unfortunately not. 很不幸的是，我从小没有学过任何的乐器。But I can see this is a very talented boy.
Yeah. You know, a child at 11 years old who has mastered piano and violin, I think that's any Chinese parent's dream.
Of
right?
course.
Well, congratulations to you, Spencer. Hope the Year of the Monkey brings you even more success. Now let's throw it back over to Bianca for an interview with organizer Jun Ing.
Thanks so much, Tim and Frank. Joining me now, Jun Ing. He's the chief coordinator of this entire parade. It is raining a bit, but that's not going to dampen anyone's spirits. Am I right?
It's already tapering down. Okay, by the time it gets started, probably there'll be no rain.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is an incredible undertaking. You have a pretty big team that helps you organize this.
Yes, every year we have about 200 volunteers on parade day. You know, they get to set up all the tents and everything else and keep the parade in order.
Incredible. 200 volunteers. You work on it all year round. What motivates you to do it? You've been doing it over 10 years.
Well, I guess I start doing work for the parade in the late 80s as a line dancer. So, I graduated from there.
So what was it like being a line dancer in the parade?
It was fun. We just felt that there wasn't enough to do. We wanted to do more.
Mm-hmm. So you've taken on this big task. You have over 70 entries in this year's parade, and I'm told there's a helicopter.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually right there in the back. It's just about a block behind us, and I just checked it out. So it's very interesting. So we also have another team this year, the Immigration Services Society. Mm-hmm. So they're going to bring in some of their clients from all over the world. So it's going to be something very interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a truly international parade. And we were talking earlier. You have this great sheet set up, and you organize everything. So you space the marching bands apart from the lion dancers. So there's a lot of coordination that goes into it.
Oh yes, well we try to do a very good presentation. We can't have all bands or all lion dance teams all bunch up together, right? So we got to space them out. So it doesn't matter where what point you watch the parade. There's always something interesting coming up.
Mm-hmm. And now, if you're coming down, you're maybe thinking, oh, it's a bit rainy. What's the best way to watch the parade? What do you need to have a good time today?
You just have to have the right spirit. And, I guess anywhere along the parade would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think really that there is a bad spot. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to tell people?
Well, I just want everybody to come down and join us and have some fun.
Well said. Thanks so much. And back to you, Frank and Tim.
Thanks very much, Bianca and June. As you can see on your screen, the festivities will begin in about 21 minutes' time. You can hear some of the firecrackers behind us. Now, let's talk about the traditions. Of course, food is a big part of Chinese New Year celebrations. And now we have local food writer Stephanie Yuen with us to go over some traditional treats. Stephanie, thanks so much for being here.
Hello, 恭喜发财。
恭喜发财。
恭喜发财，新年快乐。
恭喜发财。
新年快乐。
新年快乐。
What do we have here?
Well, this is the platter, round platter. It's something that every Chinese family will have in the living room or the dining table. Yeah. This is something you actually offer to the visitors, right, your friends and relatives when they come visit. Yeah. We all know what this is, Mandarin, and well, this is Mandarin, but in Cantonese we call it gum.
Right.
And gum actually means
gold.
Gold.
That's why we have to have it, right?
That's right. Eat more of these, and
then you'll get
rich,
a lot of gold.
Right?
Yes.
At least you'll be healthy.
Yes.
Can I jump in for a moment?
Sure.
Because in Mandarin 是橘子，那橘子当中有一个吉字，
对，
所以呢，对于说普通话或者说国语的这些观众来说呢， 橘子也是有着吉祥的含义的。
This is, like the things that we have, we turn a lot of delicious food into auspicious symbols. It's almost like a wishful thinking, but we love it because they're all delicious.
Right, and a lot of sweets here, right, to sweeten up the year.
Sweet means harmony.
Right.
And of course, it also means passion, love.
Right.
And you want to have it all the time, during your life.
Yeah,
right?
And this is a very common sight in homes across China and here in North America as well, right?
Yes. Like I have that since the Chinese New Year. So,
right.
And we all know what seeds are. Seeds means growth.
Right.
You want it to grow, like the kids, your career, or your health and everything. You want it to grow better and stronger.
Right.
That's why we have to have it.
Now, what are these things?
Oh, those are again sweets. There are peanuts inside.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's talk a little bit about the deep fried goods.
Yes.
Deep fried food. What is your your interpretation of anything that's deep fried in Mandarin in your village or whatever? Because we like deep fried stuff. Oil is the lubricant. It actually smooths everything. Is that what you have?
对我来说，倒是我们也有很多春节当中有一些油炸的东西，好比说北方人有这个我们叫排叉或者说是果子，但是吃到嘴里面脆脆的，有声音，听上去就像鞭炮一样，所以呢，也是大家非常喜欢的。
I love that. I love that. Yes.
Now, these are some of the common traditional treats.
It is, yes.
But since this is Valentine's Day, you also brought something special to show us.
Well,
for the lovebirds out there.
We love dessert soup.
Yeah.
And this one is also made with taro. Taro is the root. It's the big fat root, and it always means for the farmers.
Yeah.
It almost always means good harvest. You have
Right.
something that come up fat, healthy, and succulent. And I actually made a taro dessert using these round balls of tanran. Tanran is something that we eat during Chinese Valentine, which is coming up in 1 week.
Yes, that's right.
15 days.
So if you go by the lunar calendar,
yes,
you have another week to get ready for Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
Essentially.
Yeah. So instead of bringing chocolate, make something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? This is actually perfect for Valentine's Day because
it is, yes.
it's warm, it's wet, I guess.
Well,
so there's nothing more sensual than something like this.
Yeah.
Who needs cake?
And it's something that you make. I mean, that has to do a lot with love, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes.
It's delicious.
It is, yes. And it's very easy to do, too.
Right. And what do we have right here?
Well, look at these. All these things, like when we're talking about Chinese New Year, when we're talking about multicultural festivals, the good thing is in Vancouver, you can get this at, obviously Chinatown. But all of these, I actually bought my ingredients from, the Canadian superstore, the real Canadian superstore, and supermarkets like the No Frills. Everyone can celebrate. Everyone can embrace the festivals, right? And this is something that I bought. And I have been having this every morning for breakfast. It's the sweet cake, which is made with brown sugar.
Right.
I'm sure you have it too.
Very traditional. I mean, every year we get this. As a kid, not a big fan.
Yes.
But now I think I can appreciate it a little bit more.
See, what you do is this is how it looks when you go to the market and buy them. All you have to do is slice them. What I do is I dip them in scrambled eggs to give it that, that little bit of a
the
texture.
Fried.
And it doesn't stick to the pan as well, right?
Well,
so something that you can have every morning, and that's what I've been doing.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for being here. Now, while we dig into these delicious treats, let's throw it over to Paul McClellan, who recently checked out UBC's biggest Lunar New Year celebration. Wow. Take a look.
Today was the Centennial Lunar New Year celebration. By far the largest celebration of Lunar New Year that we've had at UBC, and a really important event. Partly because, and maybe not a lot of people realize this, but at least half the population at UBC celebrates Lunar New Year. So that's 25,000 people.
The University of British Columbia has celebrated the Lunar New Year before, but never on this scale. 8 months of planning, over 70 volunteers, and over 100 performers came together to make this happen. One of those performers was Kevin from the UBC Kung Fu Association, and he's been practicing the art since he was a teenager.
I really liked the martial arts movies that my dad always showed me as a kid. They'd be very flashy, they'd be very dynamic, and I really loved that. So as a kid, I always thought to myself, how can I move my body like that? I want to get into this.
After practicing Kung Fu for over a decade, Kevin plays a key role in his club's presentation of the lion dance. It's a traditional part of the celebration for multiple cultures, where martial arts meets performance art.
I love the acrobatic parts of the lion dance. Lion dance is very difficult. You have a weight above your head with a partner. It really feels like the club is a family connection once we actually start performing. We go through a lot of hardships. We have to prepare a lot for these performances, but at the end of the day, it's really fun and we all enjoy it.
An important part of the celebration was to bring together performances and activities with roots in all cultures that celebrate the Lunar New Year.
That doesn't just include our Chinese or Taiwanese, but also our Korean communities, our Tibetan communities, our Vietnamese communities. And so everyone had a chance to learn how to say Lunar New Year in all of those languages today. And so it was really great to bring all those cultures together and just give everyone a bit more exposure and familiarity with who's celebrating Lunar New Year.
UBC is such an interdisciplinary and also intercultural place, so it's really good to spread it out, know about each other's cultures.
I think the celebration is amazing. It promotes a lot of tradition, and I love how many parts of the world are celebrating the Lunar New Year.
It's a huge acknowledgement of the Asian cultures that are present at UBC, which is a really affirming thing for a lot of people who are visiting here or studying here from Asia and whose families are from Asia also.
A return of the festival is already being discussed for 2017, when January the 28th will see the arrival of the Year of the Rooster. At UBC, I'm Paul McClellan for Shaw TV.
Welcome back. That's a live shot of Pender and Carroll in historic Chinatown, Vancouver. And as you can see on your screen, we're about 12 and a half minutes away from the kickoff of the 43rd Annual Vancouver Chinatown Spring Festival Parade. And yes, this is Vancouver, so it's raining, but this is not going to dampen the spirits of the thousands of people gathered here today, and especially not Bianca Sulterbeck standing by street side. Bianca, what's happening?
Chinese New Year Parade without lion dancers. Joining me now is a crew of them. Nick, you have a bit of a history lesson for us, though, on lion dance.
Yes, for sure. I've been carrying on this passion for many of years. Basically, ever since I was a baby, I've been very interested in this form of art, this form of performance. And with that being said, I've been just carrying it on for all these years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, we were chatting, and your parents brought you here in strollers, you're both saying, to watch the parade.
We were also participating in the parade in strollers as well, because our parents would push us. And our parents are also part of these societies as well, so that's that.
Okay, so lion dancing for 9 years. How old were you when you got started?
I first started officially in 2007, so about 9 years ago, yeah. Mm-hmm. But before that, ever since I was a baby, 4 or 5 years old, I had a big passion for it. So my parents would, buy one head for me and let me play around with it. I took passion from my uncle, and I've just loved it ever since, and I've been carrying it on for years now. Yeah.
Amazing. We were chatting about how it works. So can you do either position, or is there one position that you're sort of owning?
For a lion dance, you can do any position, because if we're doing tricks and we need a lighter head, we definitely want a lighter and smaller person and more agile person and a stronger base. And if we need endurance as the head and the whole component, so we'll need a stronger head and a larger head. So.
Very cool. So options are open for everyone. And now you're holding it right here. This is the one you said you bring out for rainy days.
Yes. Of course, we have many lions. We have, I guess we could say, dozens of lions at the moment. And it's based upon the weather, We do a lot of indoor performances. And of course, we bring out the more vibrant, the more colorful, more brighter lions, right? These ones are more of our durable lions. We, put waterproof spray on it, get it soaked up for the weather, get it ready for the weather.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're so excited to have you in the parade. You are also going to do a quick demo for us. What will we be seeing?
we will be seeing the meeting of two lions, and these lions are from two societies. So we'll see them bow to each other, scratch each other, and just interact.
I'm very excited. So, guys, take it away. Beautifully done, and you really brought the lion to life. Thank you, and back over to Frank and Tim.
Thanks very much, Bianca. We'll have a lot more lion dancing later on the show and throughout the show. Very excited for that. Frank, what are you looking forward to?
没错，那每年的华埠新春大游行呢，舞狮舞龙都是必不可少的环节。在中华文化传统当中呢，有很多民族舞蹈。那本地呢有一个著名的两小花民族舞蹈学校。那我们的记者呢也到那里去探访了一下，因为两小花民族舞蹈学校呢，每年在大温地区各种各样的文化活动当中都是非常多见的。我们现在是在温哥华华埠的 Panda 加 Carroll 街的现场，为您直播2016年的第43届华埠新春大游行。So Tim, you know about Loretta Liang Dancing School?
Yes, that's right. Loretta Liang Dancing Academy has been partners of ours at Shaw and dancing on our float for many years. They also do dances from ethnic groups all across China. A lot of people don't know that there's probably more than 50 ethnic groups.
56, all of them.
56, that's right. And so a lot of them are represented in their dance. So our Dunya Tozy went to Richmond to check out the dance group. Take a look.
Performing on stage is not easy, and it can be a frightening experience. But for Richmond's Sherry Han, it helped her come out of her shell.
I used to be really, really shy, and dance really helped bring out myself.
And this particular type of dance taught her so much about her own culture.
I was put in dance by my parents when I was 4, mostly to kind of connect with the Chinese culture because I was born in Canada. And so English was my first language, and so it kind of allowed me to experience more of my history and my roots.
History and roots that are integrated into the learning experience at the Loretta Liang Dance Academy.
For each ethnical dance, we learn kind of the environment, and all the movements have elements from their everyday life incorporated into the dance. So it's really cool to see how their culture really translates into dance.
Many of our students learn more about their Chinese heritage through dance classes. I myself was born in Vancouver, and English is my first language, and I didn't really speak Chinese until I started taking Chinese dance lessons with my mom.
Jessica Joan runs the Dance Academy, which her mom Loretta Liang started 46 years ago.
We are one of Canada's first and most established Chinese dance training schools. And one thing that sets us apart is that we teach the Beijing Dance Academy Chinese dance examination syllabus.
Throughout the graded program, students learn all sorts of dances representing 56 different ethnic minorities who live in China to provide a well-rounded experience for students like Sherry.
What kind of fish? What is the fish doing?
There are different categories of Chinese dance. We have the classical and the folk, as well as the ethnic minority. And we also more recently have what we call contemporary Chinese dance.
This, for example, is called Pretty Opera Starlets, and it's a classical dance influenced heavily by the Sichuan opera.
In it, you see young opera students who are emulating their favorite stars of the opera, and it's very theatrical with the very long feather on the head.
Most students like Sherry start at the age of 4, and they continue their education well into their college years. And that community is what keeps them coming back.
I definitely think that it's more than just a school. It's a community of people who love the same thing that I do, so we relate to each other a lot. And the teachers, they're more than just teachers too. They kind of watched me grow up here.
We're like a family here, and like we always have each other's backs, and even like backstage, if we have like nerves or anything, we're all kind of like in this together.
And together is the way they like it. In Richmond, I'm Dina Tosi for Shaw TV.
All right, just 4 minutes away from the kickoff of this exciting parade. How are you feeling, Frank?
没错，I'm also very excited. 现在距离华埠新春大游行的开始呢，只有不到4分钟的时间了。So what we are going to see first on the parade?
Well, we're going to have the VPD motorcycle drill team. They're going to make their rounds and make a whole lot of noise for the crowds here. We're also going to have some firecrackers, and of course, Kai Shen, the god of fortune, is going to make an appearance.
And of course, our reporter Bianca is with the VPD motorcycle squad now.
That's right.
On the parade route with Constable David Taves, you are sort of leading the parade on motorcycle. How's it going?
It's going excellent today.
Okay. This is your first year doing the parade, but tell me sort of how it works.
Well, essentially, we're just at the front of the parade. We're leading an entire group of people behind us, just safely escorting them down the route and ensuring that pedestrians, etc., stay off to the side. But essentially, it's a really great honor to be leading the parade today.
Wonderful. So how does the rain factor into what you're doing?
Well, I'm actually happy to see a lot of members of the community out here today and participating in this. It shows a great support. And the weather is a little bit downpouring. It shows the kind of commitment people have here. They're all coming out. And it doesn't affect our jobs at all. We enjoy being out here in the rain.
Yeah, well, that's right. And you look like you're ready to go for the rain. Yeah, there are people on the streets. They're not deterred by the rain, expecting 100,000 spectators. David, you've got a big job to do, so I'm going to let you do it. Thanks for chatting with us.
Absolutely no problem. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. And back to you, Frank and Tim.
Thanks very much, Bianca. Looking forward to seeing the drill team out there. VPD always has a strong presence in this parade. It's great to see. And it's, Year of the Monkey, right? Which is great for me because I was born Year of the Monkey.
So you're 24?
Yes, 1992. That's right. No, I think I hear a lot of people laughing behind me right now. But it's a great year, The monkey is described as an animal that is very intelligent, witty. So I got a lot of good things going for me, I guess. But what does the Year of the Monkey bring you? Well, as I mentioned, the personality is intelligent, witty, inventive. They are problem solvers, team players, but also work well independently. The monkey is nimble, playful, and youthful.
是的，今年呢是猴年，那么猴年，而且今年是火猴年。猴年呢出生的人呢，像 Tim 一样是非常的聪明，非常的活泼好动，非常的热情外向。那同时呢，也是一个非常好的合作伙伴。So you do understand what I'm saying about
Yes,
you.
I do, but I think my wife would disagree with you. But this is also it's known as a fire monkey year, right? So do you know anything about what the fire will bring to this year? Because there's different elements, right?
Fire monkey is more like the outgoing and sometimes almost have an explosive personality.
Right.
But of course, this brings passion. This brings inspiration to others as well. So our, the Chinese legend, the Monkey King, Mei Ho Wang. So he is a fire monkey.
Right. And so what, people that you talk to, what are they hoping for this year in the Year of the Monkey? Or what do they think the monkey will bring them?
Monkey also means higher position and good income. Right. Pretty handsome salary. So you will see in many Chinese families monkey on a maple tree. That means 步步封侯. That means the monkey, the position is going to go higher and their income are going to get bigger.
Well, let's hope that comes true. Fingers crossed. We're about 15 seconds away from the beginning of this parade. As you can see, people are not deterred by the pouring rain out there. This is Vancouver, of course. You can see many dignitaries here. Got the Premier, Christy Clark. Who else do we have here? Suzanne Anton here. Tom Mulcair is here as well, standing beside Gregor Robertson, Mayor of Vancouver. They're all lined up, ready to go. And it's great to see so many, people taking part in Chinese New Year traditions in the city from all backgrounds.
没错，那每年的华埠新春大游行呢，是吸引到越来越多的人。今年呢，虽然是雨下得很大，但是我们预计还是有超过10万人来参加和观看今年的华埠新春大游行。我们已经看到呢，镜头当中看到。3级政府的政要，包括联邦新民主党 Tom Mulcair， 他站在这个温哥华市长罗品信的旁边。那 BC 省长简惠芝，还有我们华裔的国际贸易和多元化厅长 Teresa Ward 屈杰斌，还有我们的公安厅律政厅长 Suzanne Anton 都在这个游行的最前排。So they are going to leading the parade right after the motorcycle squad.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We're just moments away from that. And of course, they're going to be on the streets shaking hands and handing out a lot of red envelopes, which you will see a lot of today. Tell us a little bit about the red envelopes, Frank.
Have you got any yet?
You know what? Because I'm married and I work with kids, I have to give them out more than I get them. So, a lot of people who don't know, red envelopes are, it's a staple of Chinese New Year traditions. People exchange them as gifts during the Spring Festival. They're called lucky money because they're supposed to bring you good luck as well. And the red envelopes usually contain money, but sometimes candies and other treats.
Yeah. Yep. And you know that there is a Chinese social media called WeChat, and online red envelope is a big thing. In social media now, so everyone is trying to grab their phone and tapping on it, and they try to get the online red envelope sending from friends or relatives.
That's a sign of the times.
Yeah, it's a time. It's that time and age.
Yeah.
The technical things.
Exactly. E-vites and e-red envelopes. So now we have. You can see some of the firecrackers being lit there on the street, but it is wet, so. We'll see if they can get them lit up. But you know what? Every Chinese celebration has to have fireworks or firecrackers of some sort, right?
没错，那每年的这个新年庆祝呢，是一定要燃放爆竹的。为什么呢？这个燃放爆竹是庆祝新年的一个传统，是为了赶走过去的晦气。那
There we go.
So no one can hear us now.
Well, that's a very familiar sound. I think the Vancouver Fire Department were able to help out with lighting those firecrackers.
Of course, this must be under very tight supervision from the fire department.
I don't think you have to worry about random fires going off today, though.
那爆竹的声音呢，一下就把这个华埠新春大游行的气氛给抬到了高潮。So this really elevates the atmosphere and the spirit of people on the street.
And tradition has it that the firecrackers will scare away evil spirits, right? And that's why they're here. You also saw a shot of Kai Shen, the god of fortune, who kicks off this parade every single year. And if you go into Chinese restaurants and homes of Chinese people, you'll see a statue of the god of fortune, right?
Of course. 那我们今年这个随后呢，就是在游行队伍前面领军的当然是财神。那财神大家都知道，我们几乎每一个华人的餐厅、每一个华人的家庭里面都会供奉的财神。财神是为来年带来好运，让大家丰衣足食。
That's right. He's the Chinese god of prosperity, and his name is often invoked during Chinese New Year celebrations. He's depicted in many drawings and statues riding a black tiger and holding a golden rod, and is able to turn stone into gold, which is pretty darn cool.
I wish I had that rod myself.
I don't think there are any Marvel superheroes that can rival the god of fortune. All right, and I think following behind them, we're going to be seeing the Army, Navy, and Air Force veterans. And see Christy Clark and Justice Minister Suzanne Anton waiting patiently.
那今年走在游行队伍最前面的呢，那除了是紧接着财神之外，就是加拿大国旗、BC 省旗和各市镇的旗帜。那接下来呢，我们还会看到由童军带着的这个恭贺新禧的横幅。大家看到呢，现在是有很多这个古老的军车开过，这个是代表的是加拿大的三军，那么他们是加拿大华裔退伍军人会 ，The Army, Navy, Air Force Veterans Canada.
That's right. And you see some of the Chinese veterans who fought in World War II.
And of course, the Chinese veterans of very special importance to our community. It's because their dedication, their bravery during the Second World War that earned the Chinese community our full citizenship.
That's right. Yeah. When war was declared in 1939, more than 600 Chinese Canadians volunteered to fight for Canada at a time when they were discriminated against and didn't even have the opportunity to vote.
没错，那是正是因为华裔退伍军人，华裔军人呢，在第二次世界大战期间自愿为加拿大和盟国作战，才帮加拿大的华裔在当时是没有公民权的，是他们的努力、他们的勇敢、他们的流血牺牲，才为我们所有的华人争取到今天的公民权。
See Mayor Gregor Robertson wearing traditional Chinese clothing.
And right next to him is the Consul General from China, Liu Fei. 那我们看到的是温哥华的市长罗品信，站在他旁边的呢就是中国驻温哥华总领事刘飞女士。
See a lot of umbrellas out there. All right, and next up we have Bianca Salterbeck with an interview with the Mayor of Vancouver. Bianca.
That's right. Thanks so much for joining me, Mayor Gregor Robertson. We were just chatting. You've been coming to this parade since you were a kid.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of the highlights of the year in Vancouver. Regardless, rain or shine, but amazing array of culture and celebrating the coming of spring.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a particular tradition that you love or you look forward to?
Well, I love to hand out the red packets, lucky packets, and just to see all the kids that come out. And that's the best part. The kids and the elders at the same parade.
Great. Well, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for chatting with us.
You bet.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Bianca and Mayor Gregor Robertson. The mayors have had a strong presence here every year.
And he's also got a Chinese-Canadian girlfriend.
Oh, that's right. Another reason to celebrate Chinese New Year. But does he speak Chinese? Like
getting better and better.
Okay, well that's good. All right, and we got another interview with this time with Jenny Kwan, newly anointed MP for this riding. Bianca, throwing it over to you.
That's right. Thank you, Tim. Jenny Kwan joining me. You've got the red envelopes.
Absolutely. This is a Lunar New Year staple. You must have it to give good luck to everybody. And Happy Year of the Monkey. 恭喜發財，身體健康.
Happy Year of the Monkey. That's actually my year. What do you look forward to about this parade?
Well, this year, this is such a fantastic parade. It is a very multicultural community, and it really shows how wonderful Canada is as a multicultural society. I've been at this parade every single year from the very beginning, and each year I see it grow, and more people come out and celebrate, not just Chinese people, not just Asian people, but people of all cultures, and that's what Canada is all about.
So great to see you, Jenny. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Over to you.
Thanks very much, Bianca. Now this is the Vancouver Police Pipe Band. They're one of the oldest pipe bands in Canada, dating back to 1914.
Wow, so that's over 100 years. 大家看到的呢是温哥华警察局的风笛队，这个是整个加拿大历史最悠久、最古老的风笛队，是成立于1914年，所以今年已经是第102年了。So this is the 102nd year of their forming.
Yeah, and they dress in full Highland uniforms, the historic style of the British Army Highland Regiment, with kilts and plaid of Prince Charles Edward Stuart.
大家可以看到他们的穿着呢，也是完全是依照英国的传统的叫做苏格兰高地的服饰。这是苏格兰高地英国陆军苏格兰高地团的传统服饰，戴着船形帽和苏格兰特有的苏格兰男人穿的短裙。
And there's such a huge multicultural aspect of this parade now. It's not just Chinese New Year or Asian New Year. Groups from across the region are participating now.
是的，现在的华埠新春大游行呢，其实不能叫这个中国新年大游行，因为越来越多的加拿大多元文化社会当中，其他的文化也参与进来。比如说，这个就是像苏格兰温哥华警察局的风笛队，就是像 the Scottish and the British heritage, and we also have cultural activities from Asian community,
right.
from South American as well,
yeah.
From of course North America. So all kinds of cultural heritage that you can see in Canada,
right.
You can see here today.
Yeah, and looking forward to those performances throughout the afternoon here. But let's throw it over to Bianca Salterbeck with an interview with Tom Mulcair.
That's right. I've got the leader of the NDP beside me, Tom Mulcair. You flew in on Friday, you said?
Yes, we did. We had a bunch of meetings yesterday, but today, the big Chinese New Year parade, lots of families out despite the rain, and we're having a ball. It's also Valentine's Day. We celebrate everything at once.
Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
And happy Valentine's Day, and Gong Hei Fat Choi.
So it's so nice to see you here. Welcome to rainy Vancouver. I did want to mention that. It is not as cold as the rest of the country.
We'll take the rain.
But why did you make it a point to be here?
My wife, Catherine, and I come every year. It's just such a wonderful celebration. It does mark the beginning of the new year in the sense that we're changing seasons, and all Canadians should get to enjoy this part of our shared heritage. It's great.
Well, it was nice seeing you, and we'll let you get going. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice to see the federal leaders represented here.
And he made a good point that we'll take the rain. It's much better than the chilly cold in the east.
I was talking to my mom who lives in Toronto. Minus 30 there yesterday. So definitely take some wet weather over that any day.
没错，虽然我们温哥华被叫做雨哥华 （Vancouver），但是呢，虽然今天是下着雨，不过比起今天东部零下30度的气温来说，我们还是非常幸运的。Look at those big cars, big police cars.
Bringing out the big guns for the parade. It's Vancouver Police Department.
And their canine units are with them now.
That's right. It's a parade for everyone, including the dogs.
Including the animals.
Yeah. And you were mentioning that, I've been doing this for about 3 years with you, and we've lucked out with some pretty good weather almost every year, with sunshine, dry weather, albeit cold. I think this is the first year since 2012 where it's actually rained during the parade, right?
没错，我是第5年来做华埠新春大游行的直播了。那2012年我第一次做直播的时候，雨比现在还大。But no matter what the weather was, each year we're seeing more and more people participating in the Chinatown parade, which is great.
Yeah, and that speaks to how the community here comes together, and it's also with a lot of development in this area. There's just a larger population living here. So, even on a rainy day like this, you can see like all the streets down Kiefer, all the way over to Pender Street. They're all packed right now, so it's great to see. This is the Vancouver Fire and Rescue Services group.
I think they are intentionally trying to keep it low now so that they can sound their horn suddenly and draw everyone's attention.
Yeah. But noise is a big part of Chinese New Year celebrations, right? I mean, this is, comparatively subdued to what you would see in China with a huge amount of fireworks, drumming, and people just making all sorts of noise, because that, in essence, is a celebration, is the noise.
没错，那在中国传统庆祝新年当中呢，声音响一定是一个非常重要的环节，不论是燃放鞭花爆竹啦，或者是敲锣打鼓啦，还有这个人们的欢呼喜庆，所以说一定都是要有声音才能够显得热闹。
And there is an expression in Chinese, right, regarding the noise. And what is that? There's a word, meaning the noise contributing to a festive environment.
What we call 过节一定要热热闹闹, so that doubles the effort of being noisy.
Right. Well, hopefully it doesn't get too noisy around here. we want to be able to hear ourselves. But if you look around, there's a lot of old Chinese societies being represented here, right? That's a big part of Chinatown, and what Chinatown has always been is a collection of Chinese societies that date back hundreds of years, some of them thousands of years back to China. And how important is it to recognize some of these societies today?
Many of the societies are an integral part of the Chinese societal elements. We know that many of the families are clans, that they stick together, they help each other to fend off whatever the outside throw at them, be it weather, be it bad weather, poor harvest, or even invasion from other clans or enemies. 所以呢，在中国的传统当中呢，我们在温哥华的华埠会见到很多的公所，会见到很多的宗亲会，这些团体呢，实际上是我们中华文化的一个组成部分。我们中华文化当中呢，多年来家族是一个非常重要的社会组成部分。家族团结起来呢，可以互助，可以抵御外界的侵犯，也可以在遇到天灾人祸的时候呢，大家可以互相帮助，渡过难关。
And this is the Teochew Society, or Chiuzhou Society of Vancouver, and they represent the Chiuzhou population in China, numbering over 50 million people in China and worldwide, and they originate from the Chaoshan region of eastern Guangdong province. That's in the south. And it really speaks to the number of different ethnicities and also dialects all across China that also exist here in Canada.
Yes, of course. 我们在温哥华呢，经常是可以看到我们称为老侨，就是很多来自广东、福建一带的先侨，他们很多人是在100多年前、150年前就来到加拿大。So many of the old clan or their society comes to, their ancestors come to Canada about 150 and 60 years ago. So they are really the Chinese pioneer in Canada.
Yeah. And a lot of them set up bases not only in Vancouver, but we're talking Victoria, Seattle, San Francisco,
Barkerville,
the interior. Yeah, where a lot of early Chinese came to Canada, working, mining for gold and working on the railroad, building the CPR.
And the provincial government just recognized the 21 heritage sites that was put in the preservation list of provincial heritage sites. 那省政府呢，刚刚是确立了21个华裔的传统的遗址呢，作为省政府的历史传统保护遗址当中。And many of them, several of them, are here, right here in Chinatown.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Chinatown societies, they'll date back to the turn of the century. But if you mentioned Barkerville, way into the interior, you have these historic sites where the early Chinese immigrants settled. Now you can see our Shaw and Global TV float right there. That's your
That's my colleague Carol. 大家现在看到的呢是 Shaw 和 Global TV 的花车。大家看到正在向大家挥手的是 Global National 国语新闻的主播，也是我的同事王航。
That's right, and they're looking surprisingly dry. They got the umbrellas out. Shaw's proud to be a sponsor of this parade every single year. And we got our team handing out some of the oranges that Stephanie was talking about earlier that rhyme with the word gold. So handing out some good luck charms to the crowd here.
Shaw 和 Global TV 呢，每年都是华埠新春大游行的主要赞助者之一。那我们也非常自豪，非常高兴，我们每年都能够成为华埠的传统之一。
And we'd like to say a special thanks to Price Smart Foods for providing those mandarin oranges that our Shaw team is handing out to the wet crowds out here. So thank you very much, Price Smart, for your generous donation.
我们也特别感谢呢嘉联超市，今天我们 Shaw 和 Global 向大家派发的所有的橘子呢，都是由嘉联超市提供的。Now we're back to ancient China.
Yeah, look at those amazing costumes. This is, I believe, the Han Fu Society.
Yes. 这是温哥华的汉服文化协会。那汉服的文化协会呢，他们是希望通过中国传统服饰来弘扬中国的传统文化，因为中国的传统服饰呢也是非常的多姿多彩，而且呢非常的高贵典雅。So it's so elegant, and that is the way Chinese people present themselves through the thousands of years of history.
Yeah, I mean, they were wearing most of the clothes that you saw there was ancient Chinese clothing before the Qing Dynasty, so before about 1600 BC. And, you know, you hear this a lot, Han Chinese, Han being the largest ethnic group in China. But this isn't just a Han celebration, right? You know, we talked about the different ethnic groups that are celebrating here, but also different countries as well.
Of course, the Chinese New Year or the Lunar New Year is celebrated almost throughout Asia. It's because Asia is a rice-making continent, and Lunar New Year is the calendar they use to grow their crops. So that is why we all celebrate Lunar New Year in Asia. So it's be it East Asia, including Japan, Korea, China, and Southeast Asia like Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand. We all celebrate Lunar New Year.
So Happy New Year to all our Korean, Vietnamese, and Japanese friends out there. And we look forward to seeing their performances later on in the parade.
没错，因为在这个我们虽然是叫中国新年或者说春节，但实际上呢，农历新年呢是在整个的亚洲，尤其是东亚和东南亚，都是作为一年的开始。因为整个的亚洲和东南亚呢都是以大米为主要的种植，那么农历呢就是以这个作为种植的，作为每年的耕种的一个一种年历，所以呢，我们都是把这个农历的新年作为一年的开始。所以呢，今天的游行当中，大家也会看到像韩国啦、日本啦、越南啦，还有菲律宾啦、泰国啦，各种不同的来自亚洲的族裔，和我们一起来庆祝农历新年。
Now here's a pop question for our audiences at home. Is that lion dancing or dragon dancing? Because it's confusing to some people who don't know. Well, this is the Chao Yuan Society, the lion dance team, but they also have dragon dancers. And the dragon dancers, usually they carry the dragon on sticks, and there's a large line of them, where lion dancers are usually one or two dancers underneath the lion costume.
Of course, the requirement for lion dance and dragon dance are a little bit different. Lion dance is more teamwork. Lion dance is more coordination between two people, but dragon dance is more teamwork.
Yeah. And lion dancing requires a little bit more martial arts, right? I mean, they're doing very acrobatic jumps. They're doing types of moves that require many years of training.
That is why we see many of the lion dancers are from martial arts society here. Now we're talking about noises.
Yes, that's right. It's really ramping up here. And you hear some of those firecrackers in the background as well. This is the Senior Chinese Society of Vancouver. Seniors are still, you know, the lifeblood of Chinatown. You know, there's you know, still hundreds of seniors living right here in Chinatown, contributing to the local economy. How important is it to celebrate their presence and their contributions to the community?
Respecting and serving our seniors is also the cultural tradition or heritage of the Chinese culture, because piety is one of the virtues, most celebrated virtues of the Chinese culture. So, of course, senior is an integral part of our society, and so that is why they always get the respect from younger generations.
But it is a changing demographic here in Chinatown. It's a big debate going on is, you know, what is the future of Chinatown going to look like as the seniors, you know, as they pass away? You know, are younger Chinese moving into Chinatown? And we're seeing this sort of, you know, newer developments pop up. We're not seeing the same demographic anymore, right? So, you know, what are your thoughts on that, Frank?
It's hard to say. We need development, especially in this day and age, and the condition of the Canadian economy here. And of course, we have seen a lot more housing demand in the city. So development for me is not a bad thing, but the thing is we have to also preserve the heritage, the cultural heritage of Chinatown. So how to do that, we need to strike a balance.
Yeah, well, I mean, a parade, an event like this definitely helps, and it helps draw out people of all cultures to celebrate the history here in Chinatown. As you can see, we got performers from all backgrounds. And I believe this is Cathay Pacific.
When we talk about airlines, Vancouver International has the most number of flights, direct flights to Asia, than any other airports in North America.
I didn't know that. Wow. It is the gateway to Asia.
Of course, we deserve that title.
But there are more and more direct flights to different cities in China now, more than ever before, right?
More than ever before. We have 9 routes to China now, and we are opening 2 more. I think that is what YVR is talking about.
And that's huge for our economy. Is to, you know, have more visitors coming from abroad, coming from China to experience Canadian culture and to enjoy themselves here.
Exactly. What we talk about, 我们说到了温哥华呢，国际机场是飞往中国和亚洲航线最多的一个机场，这也是温哥华被称为亚太门户的原因之一。
Here's Lee's Benevolent Association.
Many of this benevolent association or clan society, they formed together to help each other when the Chinese pioneer first came to Canada, and they do not enjoy support like we have today. They are not full citizens of Canada then. They do not enjoy a whole full social status. So they have to stick together, support each other, and many of the traditional buildings in Chinatown are in fact housing for their own clan, for their own benevolent association. Because many of the people are just young people who came here alone, try to strike a fortune and send money back to home. So they don't have housing. They try to save as much money as possible. So this is mainstay of the Chinatown at that time.
Yeah, and I think people don't realize that these benevolent associations are some of the oldest associations in Canada. Dating back 100, some 150 years. And you can find a lot of the same chapters all across the United States as well. So if you are a member and you're touring the United States, you can drop into your local the chapter for your clan.
我们刚才说到的，在温哥华的华埠有很多的宗亲会，这很多宗亲会都是150多年前成立的，是华裔先祖呢互助和互相关爱的一个组织。Although it's raining, but everyone got big smiley face.
Yeah. That's living in Vancouver. You learn to deal with the rain.
In fact, I love the Vancouver factor because that is why we always can breathe deeply, the fresh air that we have here.
And a big part of Chinese New Year is the idea that you're washing away evil spirits, washing away the bad luck, and I guess the rain is a part of that, right?
And of course, water in China means, especially say running water, flowing water means fortune and money as well.
Right.
So it fits perfectly of the festivity here.
That's right. And you hear that a lot during Chinese New Year, is the idea of wishing people good luck, good fortune. I get this question a lot from my non-Chinese friends is, what's up with the obsession of luckiness? Do you have an explanation for that? Where did that come about?
One theory that in ancient China, because we are an agriculture society, so the year's harvest depends mostly luck by the weather, by the climate. So wishing you luck means wishing you good harvest, and that is security and stable life. So this is very important for us.
Of course, Geng Hei Fa Choi is wishing somebody literally good luck.
And good fortune.
And good fortune.
So here are the Qing emperors and Monkey Kings.
The Monkey King, yes.
The Monkey Kings. 今年是猴年，我们也看到在游行队伍当中出现了孙悟空、孙大圣。You know the legend of the Monkey King?
You know, I've seen the rock opera that came to Vancouver a few years ago. But why don't you enlighten us with the traditional story?
Monkey King is said to be one of the protectors of a monk who came from the Chang'an, the capital of Tang Dynasty, to India to get the true Buddha spirit and bring it back to China. But of course, that's a long and hideous journey. So they experience a lot of almost torture, but and of course meet a lot of difficulties, obstacles on that long journey.
Well, it's a perfect year to celebrate the journey of the Monkey King, being Year of the Monkey. And now we have some traditional Chinese dance.
Look at the colorful costume they have. And
all right, well, now we have an interview with Bianca Sulzerbeck on the street. Bianca.
That's right. Here we are, street level. It's very exciting. Lots of beautiful dancers coming by. I met Caitlin. This is your first year in the parade.
Yes.
How's it been?
It's been great. It's really cool to see all the different styles and all the different groups coming together.
And what is it that you're particularly doing? You look beautiful.
This is called like the bat wings, and we're from, the costume is from the Han minority group in China, and yeah.
Well, you look great. You're doing great. We're going to let you catch up. Thank you so much. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks very much, Bianca. You see a lot of Han clothing and Han dance being the main ethnic group in China. A lot of minority groups represented here as well. 56 minority groups.
56 ethnic groups,
right.
Including the Han. Han makes about 90% of the population. It's a mainstay population, but the minorities also enjoy their cultural heritage as well.
It works in perfectly with the diversity of Vancouver. Also many dialects you hear in Chinatown. You know, most people think about Chinese, they think about Cantonese and Mandarin, but there's probably hundreds of local dialects all across China as well. And even here in Chinatown, if you go to different restaurants and you hear people talk, maybe they're speaking Toishan dialect or other very regional dialects in China.
In China, I always joke with my colleagues, my English-speaking colleagues, that if you travel by 10 or 20 kilometers in China, you may not understand each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's how much, how localized Chinese has become. And even in, my background is Southern Chinese. A lot of my grandparents' friends, I can't understand them because they're from a village maybe a few kilometers away. So.
大家现在看到呢，有很多各式各样的中国的传统舞蹈，像扇子舞啦，还有各种各样的民族舞蹈。在中国呢，是各种方言非常多，各种各样的文化传统也非常多，从南到北都是不一样的。This is the music you will hear in China during the Spring Festival.
Yes, that's right. Traditional operatic music, and as well the Beijing and Cantonese operas are a big part of Chinese culture. Can you talk a little bit about that, Frank?
Of course, 我们说京剧和广东的粤剧呢，也是我们文化传统非常重要的一个组成部分。In fact, not just Beijing and Cantonese opera, because you mentioned about how localized Chinese culture is, and in many parts of China they have their own opera or theatric play. In Shanghai they have Shanghai opera. In Anhui they have Huangmei opera, Huangmei Xi. And you must have heard some of the tunes.
Oh, I have, yeah. I don't understand them very well, but definitely growing up, you hear that on the TV. My grandmother will always be watching these old Cantonese opera films. And I think for Chinese, it's a way to not only keep the traditions alive, but to pass down the stories and the history from generation to generation.
Yes, that's also part of how we carry on the cultural heritage from generation to the next one. 那其实呢，像中国传统戏曲呢，不光是有京剧啦，有广东的粤剧啦，还有安徽的黄梅戏、上海的沪剧，各地都有各地的地方戏曲。这不仅是多元文化、多姿多彩，而且呢是传承中国历史的一种手段，通过戏剧把中国古代的一些传说和历史故事传承下来。
Now, Frank, where did you grow up in China?
I was born in Beijing and spent my childhood in Beijing.
Right. And so what was Chinese New Year like as a child?
As a child, it means the best food of the year.
Yeah.
And the loudest time of the year. It's a rare time that we, as a big family, sit down together, because usually we're just with my mom and dad, but at that time you see all my cousins, see all my uncles and aunts and grandparents as well.
And you see that for us on TV, the mass exodus of people in China going home for the New Year, right? That must have been quite a sight living there.
Exactly. 刚才 Tim 提到了春运, that's the biggest, period of human migration each year on this planet.
And it probably gets bigger and bigger every year. You can see the Sikh Motorcycle Club on your screen, one of the many multicultural groups joining in on the festivities at the Chinese New Year Parade. They're made up of a group of local individuals who share a passion for motorcycles, and their mission is to promote safe motorcycle riding and to provide an active social club for their members in the Sikh community. It's interesting that they started during a court battle to amend the Motor Vehicle Act for Sikhs. Great to see many of the local multicultural organizations here.
Yeah, 大家刚才看到的呢是锡克的摩托车俱乐部. So, of course, we're seeing more and more different ethnic groups participating in this, and we have seen the Sikhs, and of course, we are expecting more our maybe East Asian and the Southeast Asian neighbors coming in.
Right. And not only that, I mean, when it's great to see when, Vaisakhi comes around, you'll see the same kind of thing where you'll see some of the Chinese societies joining in on the Vaisakhi parade as well. So this has really become a Vancouver event as opposed to a Chinese event.
Of course. Tim 刚才提到了呢，在温哥华各种各样多元文化的活动，大家都互相融合。在锡克的 Vaisakhi， 也就是丰收节大游行当中，也有很多我们中国人的元素。
All right, let's take a short break and we'll be back with more from the 43rd Annual Vancouver Chinese New Year Parade. Stay with us.
What do I love about living in Metro Vancouver? Well, besides the great coffee, it's getting out and meeting the incredible people who make up our communities. The culture, the action, and the good karma moments. All that plus the spectacular scenery here on the West Coast. As the new host of Go only on Shaw TV, I'll show you why local is what you'll want to watch.
Candid commentary and casual conversation.
I feel really, really humbled by where we have gotten.
Because the stronger you are, the stronger I am.
Lawyers.
You were almost a lawyer. 30 minutes of straight talk with intriguing personalities, trendsetters, and pop culture insiders. It's eclectic, energetic, and most definitely entertaining. Watch Fiona Forbes every Thursday only on Shaw TV.
Welcome back. That's a shot of the Chinatown Gate in historic Vancouver Chinatown for the 43rd Annual Vancouver Chinatown Spring Festival Parade. We are live on Shaw TV. I'm Tim Chung. I'm joined by Frank Chi from Global National Mandarin. How's it going so far?
It's going great for me, and it's going great for the parade. I see more and more people gather together, and more and more people coming out to spectate this spectacular event.
That's right.
I remember 2 years ago when we were doing the first time doing this broadcast together right by the gate.
Yeah.
We were immersed by the crowd.
That's right. We couldn't even see our monitors that year because there were so many people out, and because the weather was
Sunny,
clear.
yeah.
But you know what? I think this crowd rivals that one because the rain is not dampening the spirits here. People are continuing to flow into the streets, and it's great to see.
We're expecting again over 100,000 spectators this year.
That's fantastic. All right, so we got more performers here. And we've seen dancers. We've seen...
Monkey Kings now.
The Monkey King is back. Again, lion dancing, dragon dancing, drums as well. Percussion. Is one of the common things you'll see in Chinese New Year celebrations all over the world.
And we just had a Chinese percussion show, Mulan. You know about that legend, the girl who take his father's space when the country summons the father to the army, and she fought for 12 years without revealing her true identity as a woman.
Wow. That's fantastic. We have, we mentioned earlier that our Shaw team is handing out tangerines or mandarin oranges, as well as Stephanie was showing them to us. The significance of tangerines, if you're wondering, is that they rhyme with the word gold, which maybe you can demonstrate for us.
Of course, 广东话呢，这个橘子叫柑，柑的意思和金黄金的金在广东话里的发音是相近。So the pronunciation in Cantonese is similar to gold, and in Mandarin 橘子和吉 which means good luck, also is very close. 所以呢 so doesn't matter it's Cantonese speaking population, it's Mandarin speaking population, Tangerine or Mandarin are all symbols of good fortune.
So eat an orange, get rich, stay healthy.
Of course, that's
the message
a healthy
here.
food.
Yeah. All right, seeing more of the procession go by our mobile here, and a lot of umbrellas as well as the rain is just pouring down on the crowd.
When we talk about drums in China, there are also different kind of drum performance, both in the east, in the north, in the south, Guangdong province, where you were originally from, and it's different. We have really huge, big drums that needs to play by 2 or 3 people, and we also have small drums which hang around the waist, and they form a group to play together.
Yes.
在中国呢，这个鼓是锣鼓是每年过节的时候必不可少的一个节目，但也有很多不同的流派，有大鼓，有腰鼓，所以今天我们都能看得到。So we're going to see them all today.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely hear them as well. There's one of my earliest memories coming down to Chinatown was just watching and hearing the drums, and with the cymbals, it was just you didn't get that anywhere else. Just a cacophony of sound happening here, and we have the Sikh drummers as well contributing to that. This parade is just rolling along.
There is never a dull moment in this parade.
No.
It's always leaving your spirit higher and higher.
That's right.
And the pipe band.
That's right. Making noise behind us here. A native band from the Royal Canadian Navy. Let's listen in.
It was formed on the West Coast in 1940 and formed during World War. The Native band kept up both civilian and military morale with concerts, dances, and hundreds of radio broadcasts, and played for base ceremonies, monthly church parades, and public parades through the street of Victoria and here now in Vancouver.
And we have someone from the Naden Band of the Royal Canadian Navy. Bianca Salterbeck's standing by. Bianca.
That's right. You can hear the great music. With me is Matthew Clark of the Canadian Navy. Tell me a bit about this incredible band.
Well, this is the Naden Band of the Royal Canadian Navy. We're based out of Victoria, and it's a joy for us to be over here today. Right?
It's nice to see you. It's a bit rainy, but you're used to it over on the island too, right?
We just get wet. That's all. It is what it is.
And how many people in this band?
It's a band composed of 35 professional musicians. We recruit from all the way across Canada. These are some of the finest musicians that you'll see.
Sounds great. What are you playing for us right now?
Well, they're just doing patterns right at the moment, but they'll be cracking into a march really soon, I'm sure. So, yeah.
Cracking into a march. I love it. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
My pleasure. Thank you. Cheers.
Back to you guys.
Fantastic to see the Navy represented here.
Canadian Forces are also a big part of this parade every year. And of course, we have to remember their dedication to the freedom of our country.
And a big thank you to our armed forces of Canada fighting overseas. We have some dragon dancers here, and they're ready for the rain. Look at that. I haven't seen a dragon raincoat before, but there you go.
Me neither. This is the first time I've seen a dragon raincoat.
Only in Vancouver. Some more of those drummers we were talking about earlier.
And it's a lion raincoat.
A lion raincoat as well. Everyone's got one.
真的是非常有温哥华的特色，舞龙舞狮。那龙和狮子的身上呢，也都裹着雨衣。
And this looks like the Ma Benevolent Society Dragon and Lion Dance Team. The Vancouver branch of the Ma Society was established in 1950. And it's a sports club that was formed at the initiative of the representative from the Edmonton branch at their national convention back in 1976. And their goal is to create links between older and younger generations in the organization and to nurture and train the future leaders of our society.
That 大家看到的这个穿雨衣的舞龙舞狮队呢，是温哥华马市宗亲会的舞龙舞狮队，他们是成立于1950年，也是华埠最古老的宗亲会之一。Now we're seeing the Shangyi Benevolent Association that was formed back in 1914,
wow.
Which is also 102nd year old,
yeah.
Like the Vancouver Police Pipe Band.
Yeah, no, they're one of the originals here in Chinatown. And they are originated from immigrants from Zhongshan in China.
Yeah, in Guangdong province.
Right. With over 1,400 members here in Vancouver, as well as Calgary and Victoria.
That's where the Chinese pioneers in Canada, where they landed and flourished.
And it's great to visit those Chinatowns as well, you know, going to, haven't been to Calgary, Victoria. Any North American city I go to, I always try to visit the Chinatown. There's always a special feeling when I go to Chinatown. It's that, sense of home, even though you've never been there. Do you feel the same way?
Yes, but in Vancouver, we have a much bigger Chinatown now.
Yeah.
You can say Richmond is like a huge Chinatown.
Yeah.
And also the area around Metrotown is also with a huge Chinese population as well.
But in terms of a historic Chinatown, like what we see in Victoria and Vancouver, there's a sort of atmosphere there that you cannot be recreated very easily. And that comes from the history of the immigrants.
And one of my plans for summer is travel to Barkerville. That used to be the second largest city in on the West Coast in North America, after San Francisco, and the biggest Chinatown in Western Canada as well.
And what's there now?
There isn't a long-stay Chinese population there anymore, but because after the gold rush, most Chinese laborers went to build the CPR and also come back to Vancouver or Victoria, where jobs are more abundant.
Right. So, but there are some historic artifacts still there. That's fantastic. Talking about the history of Chinese immigrants here in Vancouver, if you look around Pender here, a lot of these association buildings are some of the oldest buildings in Vancouver, dating back to the turn of the century as well. And it's those associations that we talked about that are responsible for preserving these buildings as a treasure here in Vancouver. Right? Firecrackers going off, startling people.
Startling, but this is a good spirit for the parade. Yes, of course, here in Chinatown, those buildings, we need those buildings to be well preserved. That is what we were talking about a little bit before, about preserving Chinatown's heritage and at the same time inject more fresh economic development into this area, because we do not want it to be a dead Chinatown just with some old buildings. We want it to be a vibrant commercial residential area as well.
Yeah, and that's the big debate happening here is will the future of Chinatown turn into what is Chinatown in Victoria right now, which is largely for tourists, and has shrunken down to maybe a couple of streets, right? And how do you sustain Chinese heritage here when people are moving away? People are moving to other neighborhoods in Vancouver, moving to Richmond and further east, right? And so it's tough to do. I don't think there's a magic answer to this, right?
There is no magic answer, but we need the intelligence and the creativity of the Chinatown groups, of municipal government and provincial government as well. 那怎么样保护温华华埠的历史传统，是目前非常纠结的一个问题，因为我们需要保护这里的历史建筑，但是同时呢，也要为华埠的发展注入新的活力，所以这个需要各级政府和所有的团体大家齐心协力。
Benevolent associations of Chinatown.
The music you're hearing now is also a very famous song called The Prelude of Spring Festival. Right. And now this prelude.
Common interruption here. The sound of firecrackers, although no one's complaining, because the firecrackers are driving away the evil spirits.
And even the smell of the firecrackers also reminds me of my childhood time.
And talk about the scale of Chinese New Year celebrations in places like Beijing. I mean, there must be enormous street parties going on all week.
Usually in China, from where your family were originally from, the Guangdong province?
Yes, Hong Kong, which
Hong Kong,
going back.
Going back.
Guangdong province, yeah.
Your big event, cultural event during Spring Festival is a flower fair, Fasi.
Right.
But in northern China, it's called the Miaohui, the temple fair. Basically, it's the same in Guangdong province because you have warmer climate, so you can have plants, flowers that were sold to decorate the house. Right. In northern part of China, of course, winter is pretty cold, so we celebrate with paper carving, with lanterns, this kind of decoration for the festivity spirit.
Right. And it's at least a week long. in China, whereas here you might celebrate in one day during the parade, but in China, nobody's working for the entire week.
Nobody's working. Usually the celebration starts a week before, or 10 days to a week before the Chinese New Year's Day, and then lasts until the 15th of January of the lunar calendar, which is also the Chinese Valentine's Day. So we're celebrating Valentine's Day and the Chinatown Parade today, and in a week time we're going to celebrate another Valentine's Day just by ourselves.
And of course, it is the year of the monkey this year. Notable people born in the year of the monkey: Leonardo da Vinci. I was going to say DiCaprio, who is these days, for depending on what generation you are, even more notable. Charles Dickens, Yao Ming, Celine Dion, Tom Hanks, Christina Aguilera, and Mick Jagger, and as well yours truly. Born in 1992.
Yes, of course.
I hear more laughing behind me. Yeah, if you're born in, I was born in 1980. You celebrate it so few times in your life that it's actually a big thing to have your animal come around. So I feel like it's going to be a pretty lucky year for me. At least, fingers crossed. Maybe I'll play the lottery a few more times this year. All right, we have the Burnaby North Vikings Marching Band. Let's listen in here. Burnaby North Marching Band in its 15th consecutive year, with over 50 young musicians from Burnaby North.
This looks to me like the biggest marching band in today's parade.
Yeah, and they do performances at the Santa Claus Parade, at the Hayek Parade of Lights, and New Westminster as well. Here we have the Special Olympics of Vancouver. There are more than 4,300 Special Olympians participating in year-round programs all over BC. And so they're supported by more than 3,300 volunteers.
Special Olympics BC offers opportunities to train and compete in 18 sports through year-round programs at local, provincial, national, and international competitions. So that really gives people with disabilities a good opportunity to also participate fully in sports, because sports is good for anyone, including people with disabilities.
And the Year of the Monkey will be an Olympic year as well.
Of course, we're going to see the Rio Olympics, and so monkey is an animal, playful animal,
very
energetic,
agile, lots
agile.
of energy, so bring some extra luck to Canada's Olympians this year.
We're surrounded by dragons, red dragons, golden dragons. In fact, the different color of dragons or lions have different meaning as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, golden dragon is called, means that's the royal dragon.
Right.
And red dragon is the fire dragon. It's a little bit more evil.
Evil.
But that aside, it's kind of vicious.
Right.
Vicious, not evil.
Aggressive.
Aggressive and vicious. And black lion is usually the bad side.
Right.
But golden and white lions are usually the brighter side.
Right. Has to do with the yin and yang.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have the dark with the light.
Yes.
The good and evil.
Exactly. 大家会看到有不同颜色的龙，有不同颜色的狮。那这个是符合中国传统文化当中阴阳的，代表着不同生活当中的不同的方面。
All right, let's head over to Bianca on the street with another interview. Bianca.
That's right. I am joined by the Hui Chen. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Okay, sounds good to you. And what does that mean?
I am the god of fortune. So I bring everybody good luck today. Maybe not the weather, but hopefully a very good year in the year of the monkey. And a hello from Van City with some good money.
All right, and so can you tell me a bit about the costume you're wearing?
Made locally, as you can see. Very beautiful. Lots of frill and to it. And this is the big piece here. I think I've managed to poke a few people with it, but it's the really important part because it's really my crown.
Wonderful, and you're handing out the red envelopes.
Happy New Year to you.
You're handing out the good fortune, so there you go. Back to you, Frank and Tim.
That's probably one of the best Kai-Shen costumes I've seen here at the parade. Kai-Shen, again, is the god of fortune who anoints all the spectators here with good fortune and happiness throughout the new year. As well, you know, if you go to a lot of Chinese homes, a lot of Chinese restaurants, you'll see the statues of three, I would say they're wise men, but they're three old men with beards. The one in the middle is always Kai-Shen, right?
Yep. And Kai-Shen from Van City's Dragon team is also fits in the theme very perfectly.
Right. Yep, more fortune into people's bank accounts.
I think no one can say no to that.
All right, we have the Navy dive team here, which is also perfect for this weather because people are practically swimming in the rain today.
And we Global TV did a story with the Canadian Navy dive team last year, and you will be amazed at what kind of job they're doing. And we still have ancient mines from Second World War when the Japanese subs, that are active, and so they really risk their life to find those mines and detonate them and clear our waterways for safety for the sailors.
They're not just exploring the ocean, doing marine biology. They're actually removing old bombs that could blow up if ships run into them, which is fantastic. And it's great to see the Navy again represented here. Got some more lion dancers and martial artists. Martial arts is an important part of Chinese culture and Chinese New Year celebrations as well. I think we saw the Northern Shaolin team, and a lot of martial arts programs are geared for youth. So it's a great chance for youth not only to get active, but also get immersed in Chinese culture.
Exactly, because martial arts is not just a physical exercise, it's also spiritual training, because you have to calm yourself, you have to maintain good posture through the control of your mind as well. So it's both body and mind training. And of course, it's a cultural heritage that we want to preserve and carry out through generations.
Did you ever do Kung Fu as a child?
Not seriously.
Same here. I did it a little bit after watching Bruce Lee movies, you know.
But one of the many of the Kung Fu masters appear on big screen are your provincial folks from Guangdong. Bruce Lee is originally from Guangdong, and Jackie Chan as well, and also Yin Men.
Right, yes.
And also Zheng Jidan, all from Guangdong province.
Right. Strong history in southern China of the tradition of Kung Fu. Very acrobatic line dancers here.
That's the Yinping Kung Fu and Line Dance Club, 恩平会馆的舞龙舞狮队. So they are one of the also the old societies located in Vancouver's Chinatown. And they are also a long-stay member of the parade ever since the Chinatown Parade starts in 1973.
Yep, 43 years of this parade.
I think that's our Aboriginal friends.
Yeah, Aboriginal community, a big part of the community here in Chinatown, and as well as the east part of downtown.
And Aboriginal, the relation with Aboriginal people here is also an integral part of the ancient or the Chinese pioneer here in Canada as well. Because at that time, Chinese people, Chinese pioneers and Aboriginal people are the two groups that do not enjoy a full social status in Canada. So they bound up together and support each other.
Yeah, a lot of intermarriage between early Chinese and Aboriginals.
This is another perfect example of multiculturalism, the tap dancing, the Irish tap dancing.
And I guess the St. Patrick's Day parade is coming up in about a month as well. A month and a half.
大家看到的现在是爱尔兰踢踏舞，这也证明了温哥华华埠新春大游行每年都是多元文化非常集中的一个活动。那接下来呢，会有爱尔兰的 St. Patrick's Day 大游行，也会看到更多这方面的活动。And this year we're going to have The Sky Has No Limits, Girls Fly Too. And tell us something about that.
Well, they participate in annual events as part of an outreach initiative founded by BC pilot Kirsten Brazier back in 2012. Brazier was a fixed-wing helicopter pilot on a mission to share her passion for aviation and energize more females to discover the opportunities in aviation aerospace.
Almost sounds like a BC Amelia Earhart.
That's right, yeah, more Amelia Earharts in the skies because of this group.
The Sky's No Limit, Girls Fly Too annual events have directly touched the lives of over 19,600 participants, both male and female, and 4,106 females of all ages have experienced the magic of first flight in small aircraft.
As you can see behind them, the Canadian Armed Forces has a strong representation here at the parade every single year, and it's great to see. It's also great to see some of the Chinese veterans from World War II being represented here as well. They're, a big part of the culture and history here in Chinatown.
Of course, we have to remember the contribution of the Chinese veterans during World War for the Chinese Canadian society today. And of course, when you're in Chinatown, there is a Chinese Canadian Military Museum here, right here in Canada.
That's right.
In the Chinese Culture Center. So why not enjoy the exhibit there to learn part of our history? And also, there is a temple fair in Dr. Sang Yisan Garden, which is a traditional Chinese garden. So it's not just the parade here in Chinatown today. It's all kinds of activity. You can have delicacy, traditional Chinese festivity food, all kinds of Chinese culture activities like paper carving, you name it, calligraphy, enjoy it. We are seeing a helicopter on the street.
Well, there it is. We were told there'd be a helicopter in the parade. I kind of imagined it in the sky, but here it is rolling right through Pender Street, Chinatown. And that's part of the Canadian Armed Forces BC Regiment. The BC Regiment is an Army Reserve, a reconnaissance regiment of 39 Canadian brigades stationed in Vancouver.
So we're seeing a helicopter on the streets in Canada, in Chinatown today. Next year, are we going to see a huge Navy ship sailing across?
Maybe, or maybe we'll see one of the CF-18s recently back from Syria in this parade as well. Here's ISS of BC. They do great work in the community with immigrant services, helping new immigrants and refugees get used to life in Canada, providing a wide range of services for those in need.
The Immigration Service Society of BC formed since 1972, and of course here in BC we have a huge immigrant population, so this kind of services they provide is really very important, especially to those newly arrived people here. They may not have the language skills, they do not have relatives or friends here, so their service is really the most important first step. They can establish themselves. The immigrants can establish themselves in Canada.
And the ISS have been very busy over the last few months, of course, with the influx of Syrian refugees to Canada and here in the Lower Mainland. They also have a new welcome house opening this spring, specifically for refugees. So doing some great work in the community, and it's great to see them here at this parade.
Well, how cool would it be to ride in one of Canadian Forces G-Wagons on the street of Chinatown?
No one would ever cut you off, that's for sure. And I got a chance to hang out with some Navy Reserves maybe about a year ago, and it's great to see the multicultural identity of today's armed forces as well. People from all ethnicities are taking part in defending our borders, so you can see that here as well in the parade.
You talk about Navy Reserve. In fact, the past May, I was in Esquimalt on board HMCS Calgary to interview several Chinese sailors in Canadian navies and take a first-hand experience of their life on board, their living quarters, their fighting stations, and also the food, which Navy is famous for.
Oh, really? Chinese food?
Not Chinese food. That is the one part they really miss about being on land,
right.
is the Chinese food.
Yeah, you got to make a few more stops in Vancouver then. As you can see, the rain just keeps coming down, but the procession keeps moving. You see a lot of these flags here, Frank. A lot of the associations are carrying these flags. What does it say? Not those specific ones, but what are some of the messages on those flags?
Usually it's the name of their society and also the branches, because some of the societies may have different branches. This is like the parade of different regiments in armed forces.
Right.
So it's a parade of different branches of a society or a group of societies together.
And speaking of signs, during Chinese New Year, you'll see a very common Chinese character, and that's what is hung in homes and restaurants upside down, right? And you see it looks very symmetrical. It's two characters side by side. What does it mean?
Fu means, of course, luck or happiness. 我们大家在新年时候看到的这个贴的都是倒着的福，也就是福到的意思。Means so upside down means in Chinese means 倒 and that's the same pronunciation as coming. So happiness and the fortune is coming to your house if you put that upside down on your door.
That's right. And so if you think something's wrong with it, don't flip it right side up, because
you're turning the fortune away.
It's just going to go right out of the room. Speaking about being lucky in 2016, here's how you can be lucky. You must not wash or clean your hair during the first 3 days of the new year. I think this is day 6, so people at home, you're free to wash your hair now, especially if you have bugs flying around. You don't want any of that. It's fine. Get a hair wash. And that's because you don't want to wash it in the first 3 days, because it'll wash away all the good luck. The cry of a child is believed to bring bad luck, which I didn't know.
So you have to feed them sweets constantly.
Yes, that's right. Sweets and maybe a little bit of screen time, whatever you can do to make your child not cry, because that's going to be good luck. My house is one of the unluckiest places in Vancouver. Red, we talked about this, is a lucky color.
Lucky color.
And what is red represents your fire, is it?
Red represents fire, and also what we say in Chinese, 红红火火. 红红火火 means prosperous and high spirit.
Right.
So
you see a lot of red, not only during Chinese New Year, but weddings, any kind of Chinese celebration.
Red is it's always called the China red.
Right.
The color is always called the China red.
Right. Red and gold, those are the colors of the day. You see a lot of red envelopes going around today as well, Laisi or lucky money. And we mentioned this earlier, but there is sort of a strict tradition when it comes to giving out lucky money. As a kid, all you do is accept it from almost anyone you meet, right? Especially your family members. But as you get older, you're required, you don't get it as much, and you're required to give it out. So what are some of the rules here, Frank?
Usually lucky money or a hongbao is given by older generation to younger generation. So if you are married with kids, you are not entitled to get red envelopes anymore. Instead, flip around, your role is to giving out red envelopes.
Right.
But you still, but if you work, you have kids, and you have to give red envelopes both to your parents and to your younger generation.
It's a double whammy.
It's a double whammy.
But I guess, it all evens out, because, when you're a kid, you get all that lucky money. You get to buy yourself almost like another Christmas present, right?
Exactly. So this is not, in fact, about getting money.
Yeah.
It's kind of exchange good wishes.
Right. And Laisi, or lucky money, isn't just a Chinese New Year thing. I remember growing up for different birthdays and weddings,
for weddings.
You would get it as well, right?
And as I mentioned, online red envelopes or e-lisai is also a big thing now. And this is among friends and not strictly playing those rules anymore. You can just give it to anyone you would like to give, you feel like giving.
Because giving somebody cash as a gift isn't easy enough. You got to do it online.
You got to do it online, exactly. And no matter whether you're here in Canada, or your friends or relatives are back in China or anywhere in the world, just by tapping on your phone, they can receive good wishes from you.
And if you're thinking about giving somebody lucky money, it's also important to get a brand new bill from the bank, right?
Yes, but with e-transfer, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. got some more lion dancing here. Let's listen in.
One big cultural thing or heritage of the Chinese culture of lion dance is not just the playing, the martial arts of the lion dance, it's also the making of the costumes, and it's very delicate of those lion heads and costumes, and it needs hours and hours of work and dedication to make it such a spectacular gadget.
Yeah, and those are all made by hand too.
Oh,
so
all made by
quite
hand.
expensive. It also takes years and years of training to be able to move the eyes, mouth while doing the acrobatics at the same time. Cultural Center of Vancouver. A great place to take in some Mandarin or Cantonese lessons or Chinese art. They also have a fantastic art gallery there as well. If you ever come to Chinatown, make sure you hit up the Chinese Cultural Center.
温哥华的中华文化中心呢，也是在温哥华的华埠一个非常有名的地标的建筑。这里有各种各样的中文的课程和中国文化的课程，可以学习书法啦、绘画啦。所以来到温哥华华埠，也不妨到中华文化中心去参观一下。
Here we have the Cadet Corps. Let's listen in.
When you talk about the Chinese Culture Center and the program they offer, there are different groups that offer Chinese language classes, Chinese culture classes like painting, traditional painting, calligraphy throughout Lower Mainland. And if you're really into Chinese culture, it's always good to check with those programs, and it will enrich your spiritual life and also enlightens the understanding of the Chinese culture as well.
Yeah, they're open to everybody. We got the Royal Canadian Army Cadet Corps coming through.
Were you a cadet when you were a boy, Tim?
I was a Cub Scout, but not a cadet. How about you?
In China, we call it the Communist Youth Pioneer, but you have to be part of that.
Yeah, there's no option for you. No, it's great to see the Royal Canadian Army Cadet participating in this parade. Over 7,000 youth have joined the cadets, and nationally 60,000 cadet members. We also have the Chin Wing Chun Tong Society. Now they occupy a building on 158 East Pender, just down from where we are right now. And it is a heritage building in Vancouver. This organization was started around the 1920s, and it involves the Tong clan in China.
大家现在看到的呢是加拿大东莞总商会 ，So this is Canada's Dongguan North America Business Association. They are providing services to Dongguan natives in both industrial and commercial enterprises, namely negotiation services for industrial and commercial contract, public relations, and business management consulting services.
And where is the city of Dongguan?
Dongguan lies between Shenzhen and Guangzhou. This is a big manufacturing town, so the iPhones you and I are using are very possibly assembled in that city.
Yeah, China still, I know the economic activity has died down a little bit in the last year, but still manufacturing is huge in China.
It's still got the world factory, and the economic growth rate is around 6.9%, and they call it slowdown. So how about here?
Yeah, if every country could have a 6 or 7% growth rate, I think we all be doing pretty well. But for China, when you come from 20% growth, yeah, it's a bit of a slowdown. Let's hope the year of the monkey will bring them a little bit.
And also hope the year of monkey will bring better economic lights into Canada as well, because we are seeing more difficulties than ever expected before. And of course, but by seeing all these spirits on the street, I hope like everyone will be optimistic about our economy.
Yeah, if anything, it's a great celebration to have. Just the people, get the community together, and get your mind off of things like the economic slowdown in Canada. All right, the last few groups coming through.
This is the Canadian Fellowship of Baden Power Guilds, the national administrative governing body for the operation of Baden Power Guilds throughout Canada.
Right. And they're affiliated with Scouts Canada, and I mentioned I was a part of it.
You were part of it. So that really reminds you of your days back then?
Yeah, I guess so. But you know what? As a kid, now that I see the youth, they're doing the kung fu and they're doing the lion dancing, I kind of wish I had participated in that a little bit more as a child. This is the 759 Falcon Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron. They're from North Burnaby.
The Air Cadets is a national partnership between the Departments of National Defense and the Air Force Air Cadet League of Canada. Tell us if you're part of Air Cadet, what can you do in Air Cadet, and after that, does that mean you have better chance to join the Air Force?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's roughly a training ground for people under 18. It really sets them up for success if they choose to join the armed forces or become a reserve.
Because many of the parents of new immigrants do not understand fully about all these programs that we offer here in Canada about Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Air Cadets, Navy Cadets, or Army Cadets. So I think it's very important to tell immigrant parents that we have all these programs that is good for your kid, both physically and mentally, and tell them learn how to do teamwork and live in a society.
Yeah, and a lot of job skills training through the cadet program as well. So Definitely something all Canadian parents should look at.
We definitely see more color of lions than dragons, because dragons usually are just red and golden.
And gold, yeah.
But lions, we have seen black, white, golden, red, and the past one is green.
Right. And is the lion dancing different in China? And in different areas of China?
I heard. Oh, we have a street interview with Bianca again. So Bianca, whom are you with?
Well, hello. Thanks so much, Frank. I am with, is it Barb, right?
Yes.
Barb, you're with the Tai Chi Society.
Yes, I'm with Feng Wei Gok Taoist Tai Chi.
What does the society do? Tell us a bit about it.
So we teach Taoist Tai Chi arts to people as a way for them to help regain their health, and we're just very happy to be out here today letting people know that we're here.
That's wonderful. What's the parade been like? I mean, besides the rain, of course.
Well, it's been a little bit wet, but we're very lucky because we've been able to do some Tai Chi while we're waiting, so we're actually pretty warm, I would say.
I love the positive attitude of your group and everyone out here today. Thanks so much.
It's a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Back to you.
Nice to see the groups come out despite all the rain today. We've seen a few of the groups drop out this year, likely because of the weather. But it's still a fantastic event. People of all ages coming out.
And we still got more than 80 groups, and of course many floats. We see the people who are here are really high-spirited, and they really enjoy the parade. And I don't think the rain is a factor here, because you can see people all have smiley faces. And of course, after this, you can go to any of the local Chinatown restaurants to enjoy a hot meal, a hot cup of tea,
and enjoy a traditional Chinese bun, which is one of my favorites down here in Chinatown. Let's watch some martial arts.
That's a Sanghandou martial arts. The goal of Sanghandou is healthy body, mind, and spirit. So that's what I said. Martial arts training is not just about physical training. It's also about mind and spirit. In fact, the Sanghandou is Korean. Wow.
Look at that.
See that kick?
Amazing.
It's a Korean word means to be good and kind. Also implied action behavior and conduct the excellence of the physical art of human being.
All right, well, that was our last group, and that pretty much wraps up the 43rd Annual Vancouver Chinatown Spring Festival Parade. I had a fantastic time. How about you, Frank?
Me too. 这个呢，就是今天我们刚刚走过的最后一个参加游行的队伍。那这也结束了今年的2016年第43届华普新春大游行。我是 Global National 国语新闻的戚文峰，站在我旁边的是 Shaw TV 的 Tim Chang，and we are very glad and it's an honor to be here again.
Had a great time. Let's check in with Bianca Salterbeck on the street. Bianca, have you managed to stay dry?
I have. You know what, Tim, I've even ditched my umbrella because is it even raining? This parade has been incredible. I've had such a great time out here. You know, small dancers to the Chinese veterans going by. There's been so much to see. As we mentioned, over 70 entries. We chatted with Gregor Robertson. We found out he's actually been coming since he was a kid. So it was a really great time. I've learned a lot. I've been listening to the broadcast. Frank and Tim, thank you so much. A lot of interesting stories that you told and interesting discussions you had about what all the symbolism is about. And I wanted to mention one thing too, snag myself one of these envelopes. So I'll send it back to you guys. Thanks so much.
Some lucky money for you. Hopefully that'll bring you some good luck in the Year of the Monkey. From everyone here at Shaw, Gong Hei Fa Choi, Happy New Year, and thank you very much for watching.
新春快乐，谢谢大家的观看。
We'll see you next time.
明年再见。